What's that impression that you leave on people the first time that you meet? It matters. Someone told me that you don't have a second chance for a good first impression. How's that? This is Now Tell Us. I'm your host, Anthony Mwerole. Now Tell Us, we always have guests come and tell us stories. They come and inspire us. They come and educate us on a subject. And always we have great guests. And that means today we have a great guest who is known as Steve Buzogany. And I hope I got that one. He's going to tell us once he comes when I got it right, if I got it right. So without taking one more minute, we're going to hear Steve tell us the art of attraction. Stop chasing and start enticing. It's a great topic. I'm curious to find out more. So why don't you join me as we go and meet Steve together? Here we go. Hello, Steve.
Hey, how are you?
I'm
Happy to be
fine.
here.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I hope I got your second name right. If I did not,
It was
please.
close. It was good. It was close. Buzogany.
So I made a good first impression.
You did good. You nailed it.
Okay, that's wonderful. I'm happy to meet you. And please tell us. I have never seen that name, and it would be good to know where it comes from. And tell us much more about yourself. Where are you right now? How's the weather?
Yeah, for sure. The weather's finally getting to a spring season here. Finally, the winter's starting to die off. But I'm in Philadelphia. The last name comes from Hungary, so it's Eastern European, but born here. So just the grandparents.
That's good. So, what's your career? People want to know what's this man doing?
Yeah, for sure. So I started off as a real estate agent, and I got into basically appreciating and generating referrals for other small businesses because I did really well with the real estate stuff. So as far as the real estate stuff goes, I guess I got good enough at it where people took notice and they wanted to know what I was doing. So I started to share it with them, and now I just get paid to do that.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
We dive right into our topic today because I think that's a topic that many people are interested in. Maybe it's not what some of us imagine, but then we're going to get clarity as we move along. The art of attraction.
Yes.
It's an interesting topic. Now, tell us what this one specifically is.
Yeah, I mean, so for whenever you're in small business, the I would say the lifeblood of small businesses, of any business, is lead generation.
Mm-hmm.
And the lifeblood of lead generation is consistency. So a lot of people, what they do is they go out and chase business down versus the opposite of, while you could just attract the business, instead make people come to you by, giving and providing high quality service. And when you do that, people come to you in droves because they know what you do and they know you're good for it. They hear your stories about other people's experience with you, and then they come chase you down. They come chase you, which is like a lot better than the other way around. You're not begging for business. You're just kind of trying to manage all of the incoming business, which is a great problem to have.
Well, I know someone imagined that the art of attraction, how should I attract a spouse, a good mate? But I believe there's gonna be some similarities along the way. That's what I'm believing.
It's very similar, yeah. I mean, obviously different end game, but it's definitely it's very similar, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, how did you come to this? Did you observe some things that were not going right? Did you experience things in your own life that made you be interested in this subject?
I think for me, it was the deterioration of how lacking the society in America is, where please and thank you just aren't really a thing anymore. And I
Mm-hmm.
think for me, and it was just like when I realized that the power of gratitude is a very, very strong one
Mm-hmm.
in my own business. And I was like, you know what? Why am I the only one doing this? Or at least it felt like that. I mean, obviously I've learned more about other companies who are doing this, other small business owners and entrepreneurs who are doing it. And they're the people who are doing it, they're blowing up. Their business is amazing. There's a tremendous abundance in their life. And I'm like, I don't understand how so many people can be failing if this is available to them. And that's why I got interested. And I was like, well, I need to spread the word about this gratitude thing. Um, the only downside is I can't sell it as gratitude because gratitude doesn't sell. But the benefits of gratitude do. So that's how I have to sell it. But that's where that's the sales side of my business.
Yeah, that's a good one. Uh, on a day-to-day basis, even when people are not into business, they are not entrepreneurs. I know this is something that is very important to have that attitude of gratitude. And so, when you take it from a daily perspective and move it into the business world, I think that is going to be very beneficial. It's going to bring some good results in the business. Is that your experience so far?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah. It's interesting because a lot of people just they have no concept of it. Like if you go to a restaurant, what people will do is you'll see the waiter or waitress put the food on someone's plate or put the plate in front of them and they'll say nothing. Like,
Mhm.
how about like thank you? Like you just they just served you a meal. Like say thank you. Like it's amazing how much you don't even like if you just go up to a coffee shop and just see it in person. Like somebody's gonna give you a coffee and then they just walk away. If they just pay and walk away,
Yeah,
they
but
don't say thanks.
they say I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it, so why should I thank you? That's how the attitude of some people.
But that's the wrong attitude. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, so actually there's a study, I think it was Robert Emmons is the guy who did the study. Um, he's a professor, a college professor, and I'm pretty sure he's a college professor. He did a study and he conducted and determined that people who practice gratitude on a daily basis in their daily lives actually have 25% more happiness than people who don't. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, that's a big number.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
a big one. A big
if
one.
you say you're 25% happier tomorrow than you are today, I mean, that's going to be awesome. That's a big jump. It's like, oh, and you
Definitely.
do that every day, you're 25% happier every day. That compounds itself.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. And now it compounds itself in this aspect that we are talking about businesses in the results, in the income, in uh, customer uniformity, and maybe the employee, how they bond with one another. I want to believe this,
You want to believe that
that
the
that it
customer,
improves, that it compounds in very many different ways.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it
Mhm.
absolutely does. So the thing is, like, the reason I do it is not just to help the small business owner too, because like the other thing is, it's as a overflow. It actually it helps the customers of the businesses I help too, because if the businesses are practicing gratitude, the customers are just going to have the customers of that business are going to have a better experience too. So basically, overall, everyone wins all the time, and everything's you know hunky dory, happy and enjoyable.
Yeah, and I'm curious to know how it is that you work it out, how it is that you bring it to entrepreneurs and businesses. How do you go about it, and what exactly do you do with them?
How do I service them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So basically, what I do is I'm a strategic appreciation consultant. If you look at that's like the exact definition of what I
Okay.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what I do is I get on a phone call with these people initially, and I'll find out where they're trying to do and where are the biggest obstacles they're facing. And then what we do is we break down those obstacles, um, see where the shortcomings are. Then we set the new vision as to what we're trying to try to do. We set a budget and we come up with an entire what we call it SRM, which is a
Mm-hmm.
systemized relationship marketing plan. So you come up with an SRM plan, systemized relationship marketing, and then inside that plan, it's just basically a daily checklist of things that you can do, or that you will do as part of the plan to reach your goals in terms of relationship building. Now, the thing is, the way I think where the biggest value of what I bring to the clients I work with is it's being consistent is hard for a lot of people. And being disciplined is something that a lot of people have a hard time hearing. Like if you go up to somebody and tell them, hey, you need to be more disciplined in this, nobody wants to hear that. The word discipline's like, ugh. It makes people like, nobody wants to hear that. It's like, discipline, they think military, you got to do this, stand up straight and you can't have any fun kind of thing. So what I do is I basically package their plan in a way for it to be very, very easy for them to execute these daily tasks, and then to do it a lot that it's easy to execute them, and then they can do it every day. And another cool thing that we do implement, like obviously we have these things, everybody knows what a vision board is. Like what you create a series of goals and you put them all in the picture, and you can look at your goals and your dreams and you chase those down. We actually have something that we use. It's called a pain poster.
Okay.
Actually. And a pain poster is actually a picture of all of the things that'll happen to you if you don't do the tasks. So we use that because pain is a stronger motivator than pleasure. And that is a good reason. So like, obviously, like if you were to see an image of your children starving on the side of the road, I mean, I don't know about you, but that's going to make me pick up the phone really quick. It's going to make me pick up the phone faster than, maybe a sports car. You know what I mean? So we do those too.
That is going to make me wake up every day. And
dude, I will pop off the pillow.
Exactly. Definitely. So I agree with you. And then at some point you came up with a company. Can you tell us about it and how that one is incorporated in what you are doing?
Yeah. So basically what I did is I was doing really well with referral-based business inside of real estate. And then people started asking me how I was doing it. So I basically told them, hey, this is what I'm doing. They're like, okay, that sounds awesome, but that takes a lot of time. And a lot of people kept saying the same thing. It takes a lot of time. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I can't be consistent with it. So I was like, well, there's a market there. So let me tap into that. So I did. And now I do it that's how Appreciation Advocate was born.
Yeah. Everything that you told us before, that's what's incorporated into that company.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So it's not like I didn't do this stuff myself for a living. I mean, I still have my real estate license active. Like I still help people buy and sell homes, and I'm kind of in the trenches with people, and I'm not like, I'm not just this guy sitting on a cloud somewhere, just telling people what to do. Like I'm like, hey, I do this with you guys every day. I'm learning new things all the time. I'm not the end all be all. I know that there are still things to learn, and I learned things from clients. Even like I had a call with a client once, and he had mentioned a service that I had never even heard of, and I was like, wow, that's a really good service for what I do. I'm going to implement that into my business. And that came from a client. So like, I don't have complete perfection, as none of us do. But I think being in the trenches and actually doing the activities with clients and then understanding that I'm doing it too is a helpful thing too.
Yeah. And in actual fact, many people follow what you do, not what you say. So you can keep talking every single day, but then they are going to look at you and what you do, and then they're going to learn much more than what it is that you said all day long.
Yeah. I heard a quote from somebody the other day. It was like last week, and they were like, it was like, the best example you have is the actions you perform. It was something along the lines of that. And I was just like, you know what? That's right. That's exactly right. And I heard another mentor of mine, actually, I know, he said, your children will never listen to a word you say, but they will watch everything you do.
Exactly. So, and then I know that there's a book coming. Is that your first book, or do you have other books that you've written before?
Yeah, that's the first book. So the first book, but it's basically a collection. It's called the Impression Scale, and it basically, whenever you make an impression on somebody, the whole thing with impressions is a lot of people think that it's like this. It's everything about the first impression. Everyone wants to make a great first impression. Everything's about this first impression, and it's freaking insane how much people make a big deal about this first impression. And what you do, the thing is, like, that's not how you stay top of mind as a business owner, though. You can't stay top of mind with one impression. Yes, it's a first impression. Yes, it's an important impression. It's not the end all be all, though. I mean, so basically the way the impression scale actually works is it's like, if you can picture a scale from 1 to 10, like a horizontal scale from 1 to 10, the top side is 1 to 10 and the bottom side is 1 to 10. And basically the top side is the impression itself. Was it a good impression? Then it was like 8, 9, or 10. If it's a terrible impression, like if you walk into your girlfriend's house and kick the family dog, that's a very terrible impression. So like that's like a 1.
Yeah.
On the bottom side of on the scale is the top of mind indicator. And basically what that is like, hey, how long is this impression going to last? So the objective obviously is to make sure that the impression lasts as long as possible and is a good one. And so the book talks about how to make good impressions and how to make them stick, so that when people need your service, they call you.
Oh, that's interesting. So there are definitely going to be exercises for me to do and scale myself, or do I do it to another person that like how does that work, and what's the direct way to actually?
Yeah, for sure. So the big thing is like for one of the chapters, it's called the 3 anchors of appreciation. And when I say anchors, I mean it in a negative sense, because a lot of people hear the word appreciation and they think that the best thing that you can do is in an appreciation setting. Like once they hear the word appreciation, everything's all good and positive and happy. And it's like, that's not true. You can absolutely give somebody a gift that's absolutely terrible. And what I would do is I'd say like, look, these 3 anchors, there's anchor number 1 is the singular effort, meaning like if you just give one gift one time and never again, like we were just saying, just like a first impression, it's only one gift. It's only one impression. And that doesn't do anything for anybody. That doesn't keep you top of mind. The next one's called the negative Nancy, because it makes you, it basically is a neutral or negative impression, which, like if, for example, I got you a dog toy, but you don't even have a dog, like that's a negative impression. And then the last one is obviously the most fatal, and that's called the false positive. And the false positive is basically where when you give somebody a gift, the reaction is always the same, right? The reaction is always, oh my God, thank you so much. You shouldn't have, this is so nice of you. But like in their heart, they're really thinking, wow, what kind of gift is this? This is ridiculous. This is crazy. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard or I've ever been given. Like I would like, but the problem is, the thing is, they've always been the bad gifts will get the same feedback as the good gifts. Does that make sense?
The bad gifts are going to
get the bad gifts will get the same feedback that the good gifts get, that only the good gifts should get. So like if a good gift, you give someone a good gift, they go, oh my God, thank you. Yeah. But if you give somebody a bad gift, they're still going to say the same thing. Oh my God, thank you.
They can't tell you, no, this is not good.
Nobody tells you, nobody says this is effing stupid. Take this back. No one says that.
Yeah, nobody's going to say that. I mean, we appreciate every gift that we're given, but then where do I take it after that? So, and now, because you are mentioning gifts, and I know you've got some secrets of gifting. You talk about 6 secrets. Which are they, and how should I get it right in gifting?
Yeah, so we have this thing called the I guess the criteria of giving gifts, and the 6 criteria for that all good gifts have. So we have the focus on. So to go through them real quick, the focus is 1, high quality. It should be personalized. It should be deep emotional impact. It should have staying power, and it should build a connection. Those are the 6 criteria. So to break them down a little bit, you basically want to give, for focus, you want the focus of the gift to be on the recipient, not you.
Not me.
If you make it about you, then it's a promotion, and that's not a gift.
But even before you proceed, But then I'm gonna give a gift that is branded with my with my
Yeah,
brand.
that's a bad gift.
Then it's definitely gonna end up being about me at some point.
Absolutely. That's why we don't
Yeah,
give branded gifts.
yeah. You better make it clear for us here.
Yeah, that's why we don't do branded gifts, because
Mhm.
the branded
No,
gifts are just
we don't do branded gifts.
no, we don't. No, mm-mm. We don't
Oh,
send anything out with no, because if you send out a branded gift, it's not a gift; it's a promotion. So that's
ah,
that, and that's the thing. There's a difference between a promotion and a gift. Each has their own purpose, but a promotion is meant to promote the giver, not the recipient. So, like,
so what's the downside of giving out my branded gifts?
well, if the downside is if you give it as a gift. So, like, if you give a branded item, like, let's say you're holding, I don't know, let's say you're doing a community event and you're
Mm-hmm.
looking to spread awareness about your brand and you give out promotional items. That's fine. You're promoting. So,
Yeah.
a promotional item for a promotional event, that makes sense. But when you
Okay.
go into, like, I don't know, if you were to go to a Christmas party at your company and you show up with all these branded shirts with all your logos on them and you just give them to everybody, that's not a really good gift because it's your company, it's not theirs. And it's really about you. It's not about them. A gift is supposed to be at the receiver. That's why I was talking about the focus. Like the focus
Mm,
has to be about the receiver. So like what let's put it this way. So like if I got um onto your podcast, right? So we're on your podcast, and if I sent you a gift that had the appreciation advocate all over it, you'd probably be like, "What the heck?" You'd be like, I don't have any use for this."
yeah.
But if I sent you a gift that said, you know, Anthony Murori all over it, I don't know if I said that right, but if I said that, if I sent you something like that with your name all over it and said, "Hey, here's a pen or here's a book or a notepad or something like that with your name on it," you'd be like, "Hey, this is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sending." You'd actually use it
Mm,
versus like if I just gave you like a mug that said appreciation advocate on it, you'd be like, "I'm just going to trash this." And most gifts do. I mean, think about it. Every time you go to a business conference and you get a bag full of swag or some useless items, they got like these little squishy stress balls and whatnot in there. Like you just
yeah.
toss that stuff out. Nobody, you don't bring that stuff home.
Yeah. Definitely. So go deeper into the rest.
Yeah, for sure. So the next one is high quality. You want the gifts not to be cheap because a gift is supposed to be a symbol of the relationship that you have with the other person. So if you go cheap on the gift, you're basically telling the person like, "Hey, I think this is a cheap relationship." And that's kind of the recipient will pick that up and it will it'll hurt the relationship. It'll be a negative impression for sure. Personalized, obviously, if you can make it any which way personalized to them, if you can get their name engraved on it, a scripture verse that they really like on there, or their favorite quote, um, the names of their kids, whatever, anything that you can make it personalized, their favorite color, make it about them. That's a really good thing. I would highly recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, the fourth thing we got the deep emotional impact. So it has to have some kind of emotional connection. People make decisions emotionally and then they justify logically. So uh, when you are able to tap into their emotions, it actually saves you a lot of work because once you're playing their emotional strings, now you're cooking with peanut oil, as they say. Um, the last thing is, or sorry, the second to last thing, it has staying power. The
Mm,
gift has to be able to be used repeatedly or uh, seen frequently. So, like for what we used to do is we used a trick called attacking the kitchen. So, and we call it attacking the kitchen because anytime somebody used anything in their kitchen, it was from me.
mm,
It was about I gave them, anytime they touched their pizza cutter or their ice cream scooper or their cutting board or their scissors or their knives, it was from their real estate agent. So it's like, oh, well, Steve got me this. Oh, well, Steve got me this. And I'm constantly being refreshed in their brain because whenever you get a gift from somebody that you can actually use, they think of you. Like you
yeah.
think of the person who gave you the gift.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and you don't go crazy. You don't like every time you pick, like I got a pair of scissors from a guy once and I picked them up and I literally think of him every time I pick them up because I think it was such a great gift.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I don't go like over the moon. Like I'm not going to hit the ceiling oh my God, these scissors are amazing. Like I'm not going to think of that. I'm not going to do that every
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be, but I'm just going to be like, oh, yeah, no, John gave me these. That's cool. I'm like, oh yeah, I think just it's like a constant refresher in your brain that oh yeah, oh okay, I remember him, oh yeah, like it's like you never actually fall off in the impression scale in the book. It's this thing called the subconscious slide. When you're not making impressions or when you're out of mind, you slide down into the subconscious, and by having a staying power, you never allow the impression to fall off down the slide. You basically nail the impression in, and it sticks there because it's constantly refreshing. And the last thing is to build a connection. So let's not forget the basics here. The entire reason we're actually giving gifts is to build a relationship. So, always have a gift sent with a personal message, write a personal note, send it with a video, anything of that sort that you can do.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who are joining us right now, I know we have many people who are watching. Thank you very much for being here. We are with Steve, and we are discussing the art of attraction. Stop chasing and start enticing. And it's been a wonderful time so far. Now, we've covered quite much of what we were to cover today. And yeah, this is just about it in what that I do. Unless you've got something to add before we are through with the episode, something that you want us to, yeah.
I guess I got two pieces, a good quote for you. I got two quotes for you. One, if your priorities are clear, your decisions are easy. So that's one piece of advice I think is a fantastic piece of advice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second piece of advice, I don't know where I saw this, or it was advice, whatever it was. If you're not changing it, you're choosing it. So if you're ever in a rut and you're in a bad situation and it's not getting better, just know that if you're not changing it, you're choosing it.
If you're not changing it, you're choosing it.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful, and thank you very much for that. Now, I know your book is somewhere in the future. What other things are you playing with in the mind? Are you planning? Are you dreaming of?
Outside of the book, you mean?
Yeah, anything else that is in the works?
Yeah, so we got a cool project coming on. I'm actually working on I'm building a program where I want to give my consulting advice to the masses. So we're actually building out a program. So like, let's put it this way, like there are coaches out there that charge thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for their coaching advice. And a lot of the times after they quote unquote close somebody, once they close you on a deal or they get you to opt into the coaching, the service afterwards is pretty much terrible. Like they don't actually help you one-on-one or anything like that. And what I'm trying to do is I'm building out a platform that allows small business owners who don't have these massive budgets to drop like $7,000 or $10 or $15, $20,000 on coaching, to basically just pay a small monthly fee. I'm not a 4-figure number, not a 3-figure number. Like it's probably going to be less than 100. It's definitely going to be less than $100. And for less than $100 a month, it'll be probably less than $75 a month actually. But we'll actually, you have access to a coach like me, and you can actually use real life customer experience, customer service coaching. And we basically walk you through this whole thing, and we stay with you. We keep you accountable, we keep you consistent. And it's this really cool thing we're building. I really can't wait to launch it because I really have this like internal war against coaches who charge out the, prices and then don't deliver on the service. Like there are good ones out there that do deliver, and those people are fantastic. I'm talking about, I've only been burned for about $100,000 on coaching over my career. So that's why I'm like a little fired up about it. So I'm a little angry about it. So I'm just basically going back like, you know what? I'm going to create a coaching program that costs next to nothing. I'm going to hit you all in the knees with it. And then, and deliver a better service.
Wonderful. And we wish you all the best in everything that you're going to do.
I aim to be.
Yes, and I wish every person that is going to connect with you success from what they are going to learn from you, both what you're going to say and what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Anthony.
Yes. And how can they follow up with you, by the way?
You can just send me an email. The email is probably the best way to go. I do check that multiple times a day. It's Steve@appreciationadvocate.com. That's bad, bro. That's definitely the best way to go.
And they can find it on your website, which is the one that you've just mentioned. That's www.appreciationadvocate.com, isn't
Yep.
it? Yeah.
Yep.
So you can always go and follow up with Steve and learn more the art of attraction. And yes, I believe that you take all those advices given, and not only when you are an entrepreneur, but also at home, with your spouse, with someone that you are interested in, and offer them a gift that is for them, not for you.
Yes. Yes.
That is for
Definitely.
them. Yeah. So yeah, this is just about it, and we really appreciate your presence here, Steve. Thank you very much for sharing everything that you've done.
Thank you for having me, Anthony. It's been a pleasure, man.
Yes. And we also thank all our viewers, several platforms that we are broadcasting to, and I see we have several viewers. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this video with your friends. And I didn't see any comment, but I know they will be coming after we are through. And if you have any questions, again, remember to head to the website and look for a way to reach out to Steve. That is on www.appreciationadvocate.com. That's about it. Thank you very much, Steve.
Yes. No problem, Anthony. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you very much, viewers. This has been Now Tell Us. I have been your host, Anthony Morore, and together with Steve Buzogany, we are saying
Very well.
attract more, and bye for now.
All right. See you later.
Yeah, bye.